So I welcome everyone to our report to the community. A lot of times this is an annual live event where we're in person, and we hope that that will be the case next year. You will find on our website, you'll see this report referred to many times throughout our event today. We also have hard copies if you would like one. But I would like to start out by thanking you for being here with us and letting us share our work over the past year with you. On March 1st of last year, I celebrated my first year as County Extension Director. I've actually been here for 16 years, I realized. And I could not have imagined at that time what the remainder of 2020 was going to look like, what it would hold in store for our community, for our staff, for everyone, and for our world. We also were about to experience a large-scale county malware attack, as well as the COVID pandemic. So it was definitely a strange time. We were very excited and energized about the year. We just had a staff retreat and we were moving ahead. I think as I reflected on this year, and I think you'll see this reflected in this report, that we found this season to overcome, which is the theme of our report, also a season for us as a staff to learn, to grow, and to lead. To learn by listening and collaborating with community and partners, which was more important this year than ever before. Growing as we quickly, like probably many of you, pivoted to build new skills, bring in new resources, change systems, and change what we do. I mean, we were fortunate in that our staff, our innovative staff, was able to take 100% of our programming and convert it into online, socially distanced or virtual formats. And that's been a remarkable feat. And they've done amazing work with that. But that's all for the benefit of our community. I think the other part that we experienced over the last year is learning how to lead differently in partnership with our community, collaborating with others. Our number of partnerships and opportunities to collaborate have grown exponentially. I think we might need 2 pages for partners next year. We have 1 page devoted in the program for that. So I want to say thank you also to kind of our managing institutions, and that's Durham County, and also Cooperative Extension is a partnership, both with the county and with our land grant institutions. That's North Carolina State and North Carolina A&T University. I like to think of that relationship as a partnership, but it's also a commitment. It's a partnership between our local government and these institutions, and a commitment to work together with the communities that we serve. And I hope you'll enjoy hearing from our staff over the next little bit here, and explore with us in the ways that we've learned to learn, grow, and lead together over the last year. Oh, yep, I get to go next again. So just have to remember that. So one of the things that Krista alluded to that I had the fortune of doing over the last year's work with food security in Durham County. When the pandemic started and we started our emergency operations, they needed to assign staff to those roles. And I worked in partnership with Michael Davis in Strategic Initiatives and Kelly Warnock in Public Health to work on food security and form a food security task force of community members who are really doing the hard work of supporting our community members during this time. One of the other things that happened as we were working together in this work was the community also brought to our attention that we needed to think about food security as a year-round, decades and long kind of enterprise, because food insecurity was here with us before the pandemic and will be here with us after the pandemic. And so our community members, including advocates from End Hunger Durham and other organizations, approached the Board of County Commissioners about having a food security coordinator role. And that was something that was approved last year in 2020. And that countywide role has been embedded with us here at Cooperative Extension. And I'm grateful to report that Mary Oxendine joined us just a little over a month ago. It already feels longer. Mary's gotten started quickly. And so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about our food security work and what's next.
Hi, and I think Aaron's, yeah, there you go. And you can go to the second slide, Aaron. So yeah, thanks so much, Donna. I'm super excited to join the Cooperative Extension in Durham County to work on such an important topic. As Donna mentioned, food insecurity concerns did not start with COVID, and they will definitely continue beyond when the pandemic ends. And if you're not familiar with the term food insecurity, in short, it means a person or a family that can't reliably get enough food, or safe and nutritional food for themselves or their family. Today, an estimated 1 in 5 children are food insecure in Durham, and that's, food insecure is strongly connected to developing chronic diseases like diabetes. It makes it harder for children to focus in school. It makes it a very important issue in our community, especially because it disproportionately impacts communities of color, senior citizens, immigrants, children, single moms, and refugees. Right now, I'm working on building relationships with the community and with other partners, and working with county and city government officials, community organizations, and individuals to meet immediate food needs. And over the coming months, we'll be using a community-rooted approach and a racial equity lens to build a team to help design an equitable, sustainable food system for Durham County. And Erin, you can go to the next slide. If you would like to get more involved with food insecurity, you are more than welcome to join our food security task force meetings that are on the second and fourth Wednesdays. And you can also reach out to me directly. My contact information is on the screen, and I'm happy to share the information with you for the food security task force or chat about any other topics related to food insecurity.
Thanks, Mary. Another aspect that has expanded in our office over the last year is an increased commitment to food and nutrition. We are now supporting our regional nutrition associate, Paula Norris, who is supporting Durham County and several other counties, and I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that. And we now have a part-time FNEP, which is the Expanded Food Nutrition Program associate, and that is Matias Morano, who's going to be working with families on some nutrition education. And we're really excited to have them both with us. And I will let Paula take over and talk a little bit about this.
Thank you, Donna. Good morning, everyone. So as Donna just explained, I am overseeing the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program, which is a program that provides nutrition education for families and youth. And we are based on research done by NC State and other universities throughout the country. These educational classes are provided by very well trained, but they are people from the communities. So they are the ones that understand the community better. And also the classes are usually 6 to 12 weeks, and they all include a hands-on. So people learn how to prepare their meals, and they taste new ingredients and new recipes, and they also are motivated to participate in physical activities. Next slide, please. So my main job is to provide leadership, training, and technical assistance for those educators that are working directly with the community. And I also collaborate and work with other agents from the extension, like the family consumer science, like the food security managers, and several others that are working in the extension. And we work in collaboration to implement what we call policies, systems, and environment change, and we short it for PSCs. Next slide, please. So my goals since we started is for this year is continue collaborating with Matthias and the education of adults, and collaborate with Donna and hire a new educator to work with youth in Wake and Durham County. So that should be done by September. This new person should start working in September, working with the school systems and other organizations in Durham County, educating youth on their food security and nutrition education. And I hope also to collaborate with other, like I say, FCS agent, agriculture agent, and other agents on every effort that they are doing and expanded the services of the cooperative extension in Durham County. Next slide. Okay, I guess that was mine. Okay, so my I don't think I have my, I'm gonna put in the chat my contact number and email address for anyone that wants to hear more and how they can partner with and receive or partner collaborating in receiving these education classes on their organization. So my email address will be on the chat in case you need to contact me for more information about it.
Thank you so much, Paula. I think, Donna, are you going to head on to our next group of folks? Donna looks like she's frozen. We're having some serious technical issues today, y'all. I will try to fill in a little bit for Donna. So another great thing that's happened this year is that our agricultural program has expanded. And so I would like to hand it over to our agriculture team to tell us a little bit about that.
Hi, thanks so much, Krista. I'm Ashley Troth. I'm the horticulture agent for Durham County Cooperative Extension. This past year has been a wild ride. So I support everyone from home gardeners up through landscapers and nursery professionals. And one of the really amazing things about this past year is how much it has allowed us to go online and do everything we used to do with the Master Gardener program, but do it virtually. We have over 100 volunteers in the program. They were able to run a virtual office despite malware attacks, despite COVID, despite everything. We moved Durham Garden Forum online, where we were still giving talks to 60 or 70 people a month. And we were also able to set up a soil sample cabinet outside so that folks could still get all their supplies in person. So that even as we moved to virtual, we kept those physical supplies available to everyone and we kept going. One of the most amazing things this year, though, by far, was that we were able to grow our program, like Krista said. It used to be kind of me and Darnell and Hannah Jones, and this year we were able to add Janelle. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to her so she can talk about her position.
Hi, it's great to meet everyone. I am super excited to be in this position. I started mid-COVID, which is a very interesting time to start a position when you're kind of in the virtual world. Many of my colleagues I didn't get to meet for months. I only saw them from the chest up. And so with this program, my role is essentially working with small farms and local foods to create connections and build resiliency within our food system and the distribution of that, but also reaching beyond that and connecting and collaborating with our land-grant universities to bring that research done at the universities back to our farmers within Durham County. As part of that, I have worked on creating some programs and certainly am always looking for more input on things that I could bring to the Durham County farmers. One of them being the soil health series that I've put together. I'm collaborating with various soil researchers as well as other agricultural agents that work in the interface between plant and soil health, bringing together things like presentations on biochar or just what is soil health and why does it matter to us. And then the next thing we're working on, which we're super excited, is Farm School is coming to Durham County in the fall. Applications are being accepted right now. And I will put my contact information in the chat, so you can contact me for more information. This is a school that is geared towards new and beginning farmers just getting started. And it really is more focused on the business side of farming and the financial aspects. What often is the most important part of being successful in farming. You can know how to grow something, but in order to grow your business, you need the business side. I also have a newsletter that I put out bi-monthly. And if you'd like to get that, please feel free to reach out and let me know. I can add you to the distribution list. And lastly, we have a really awesome tool that we have worked on, and I'm going to let Donnell Parker talk a little bit more about this.
Hello, my name is Donnell Parker. I am also an extension agent here at Durham County Cooperative Extension. I am responsible for providing agriculture business resources and 4-H STEM, computer science, and entrepreneurship programming. I am also the app administrator for Durham County's part of the Visit NC Farms app. The Visit NC Farms app connects millions of North Carolina residents and visitors to farmers and local food for free. It was developed by the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. In November of 2020, Durham County Soil and Water and Cooperative Extension launched the Durham portion of the app and are responsible for making this marketing opportunity for free for Durham County farmers and agribusinesses. If you want more information, please contact me. And I'll put my information in the chat also.
Great, thank you, Ag team. We really appreciate you. I do want to add that we are also very grateful, I think, particularly for the additional position in Durham County. That position is actually, again, a partnership between North Carolina State Extension and our county. So we are also very appreciative to our Board of County Commissioners for recognizing the need for additional agriculture resources in Durham County. It's an interesting picture of agriculture. We actually have more farms and we actually have a growing agriculture scene. We are doing it on less land, which is also kind of interesting. So we have a lot of creative and innovative ways that people are finding to use land and do farming. But each of those individual people, whether you're farming on half an acre or 80 acres, you still need that same support and those same resources. And so we're really excited to provide that here in this urban agricultural community that is Durham County. The next thing that we want to highlight today is someone else who started right at the beginning of the pandemic, and that is another countywide role that Extension has agreed to support Durham County in, and that is in our early childhood education arena. So we actually are the host department to the county's first early childhood coordinator. And Kate started last year, pretty much right after everything happened, when things were really in flux. So we're excited that Kate Elander is with us, and I will let her tell you a little bit more about how this early childhood coordination role is working in Durham County.
Thank you so much, Donna. It is such a pleasure to be here and to be housed at Cooperative Extension with all of these wonderful colleagues. I'm Kate Elander. I'm Durham's early childhood coordinator. And as Donna said, I got started last April. So right as we were all kind of freshly in lockdown. And it has been an adventure, as Janelle said, but happy to be reporting live from my actual office today for this report to the community. So the county established my position out of a desire to both better align and coordinate an approach to early childhood systems building internally at the county across departments, and also to strengthen county partnership in the Durham community as it relates to ensuring that our early childhood systems are strong and well coordinated and affirming of all families with young children in Durham. And in alignment with that latter goal, Right before I came on board, Durham County entered into a partnership with the Durham Children's Initiative to develop an early childhood action plan for Durham, modeled after the state's early childhood action plan that was released in 2019. And we are getting very close to finalizing that early childhood action plan right now. And it has been such a pleasure to start in this role by getting to really better understand all of our different services and programs and initiatives and people that make our early childhood system strong, and all of the parents who are raising young children in Durham. Over 1,000 parents and community members have been engaged in developing this plan and have come up with 21 recommendations to make our early childhood system stronger. And those are right on time as federal funding is coming down for COVID recovery and rebuilding. And I think this year we've understood deeply that our early childhood systems are critical to our ability to both kind of do all of the things that we love to do and to recover during this time. So I'm going to put in the chat an opportunity to review and provide feedback on the different recommendations and strategies that have been identified to strengthen our early childhood systems in Durham. I hope you'll give it a look and let us know what you think. Next slide, please. And the other thing that I'll just share is a little bit of the other work that I've been up to over the past year. As I said before, kind of in this virtual world, it's been really nice being able to collaborate with colleagues and find some ways to add value despite all of the impacts of COVID. I was so excited last summer to partner with Durham's Campaign for Grade Level Reading partners, including the library and Durham's Partnership for Children and Book Harvest. We identified that there was a sort of a gap and an opportunity in our early childhood system to support young children who were learning in person during COVID at childcare centers by delivering books that they could take home and add to their home libraries and have opportunities to connect with their parents and caregivers during this uncertain COVID time. So we're able to deliver over 9,000 books to young children who were learning in person during COVID. Also have just been really engaged this year in supporting fundraising to strengthen our early childhood system, and also in helping to make our grant processes at the county and with other partners a little bit more equitable so that more funding can go toward community-rooted organizations and folks that are kind of closest to these persistent challenges that we are trying to solve. So it's been such a pleasure getting started and better getting to know my colleagues at Cooperative Extension this year. Yeah, looking forward to what's next once we have this early childhood action plan in place. And we'll be partnering together with parents and community members to do that important work, building a strong foundation for our youngest children in Durham. Thanks, y'all.
And we are really grateful to the county for entrusting us with these kind of countywide positions and countywide leadership roles. We are very happy to support all of this work as a team and look forward to seeing the results of some of these newer efforts. I think we're seeing the results this year and during the pandemic, but I think we will see even more in the years to come. So I'm going to turn it back over to Krista.
Thank you, Donna. So we've had the pleasure now of hearing about a lot of our new initiatives or our expanding initiatives. Now we're going to hear from some of us who've been around a little bit longer. Starting out today with my wonderful colleague, Sherilyn Berry, who is our Family and Consumer Sciences agent and does so much more creatively than anyone I've ever known in my life. So I'm going to hand it over to Sherilyn to tell you about what she's been up to.
Well, thank you for that glowing recommendation. So we are the Family and Consumer Sciences. I'm the agent. I work together with Peggy Kernodal, as well as Matthias and Paula, and actually all the colleagues within the office, because I manage land and a facility that serves all of the program areas internally at Extension, as well as whatever partner wants to work with us externally. So we manage Briggs Avenue Community Garden, which is a 45-acre property that's owned by the Agriculture Foundation at NC State. And a couple of acres of it are developed currently, and it supports master gardeners who are getting hours for our ag department. It supports families who want to learn how to grow food. It supports, really lots of community members, anybody that wants to start a home garden or a community garden or an institutional garden of any kind, whether it be a school, in which we collaborate with the 4-H department with that. Really, that land serves to be an ag education space specifically for food. We do some pollinator things too, because we also partner with Durham County Beekeeping Association and mentor new beekeepers every year. So anything that has to do with generating food from seed to table is really the FCS department. So Briggs Avenue Community Garden does the seed side, and then the table side would be us managing our food lab within the office. And that's a beautiful food lab that's been around since, I believe, 2017 was when we dedicated it. And that is where we teach food safety, general cooking and nutrition classes, food safety through the Safe Plates program. And also we have a culinary volunteer program also that we do a couple of months of training in pre-COVID.
Sherilyn, could you slow down your pace of speech just a little bit?
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, our wonderful interpreter. Yes, so we manage the food lab in order to provide the actual applied food processing. So whether it's food safety for a restaurant, food safety for your home, what is gluten? Pretty much anything that has to do with food day to day in your home or in a restaurant, that really is what the food lab is for. So we have really diverse resources available to be able to cater to individual families, but then also institutions that require help with making food safer or more approachable, affordable by processing it yourself. So we serve the Welcome Baby program through the food lab by being able to do their baby food cooking classes, how to make your own baby food. The FNET program, the Extended Food and Nutrition Education program that Matthias is the member of and Paula manages in our office. Also, they do their trainings in there. So really the Family and Consumer Sciences program is mainly just to provide a landing place to innovate and do really cool programming around applied nutrition, like applied food skill, whether it's growing or cooking. So that is sort of the overall for Family and Consumer Sciences. During COVID, having this land and facilities really gave us the opportunity to switch gears from education to direct services. So the food lab became a drive-through food pantry where Durham Technical Community College moved their pantry during COVID because their campus was closed down. And then also we had partnered with Feed My Sheep so that they could come in and have some extra storage space and volunteers and help kind of building packages to give out to people. Briggs Avenue Community Garden during COVID became a clearinghouse for donations. We had about 8,000 donated plants that we gave away to start gardens at people's homes to increase their food security. And the 4-H program made that their site, their sort of clearinghouse for their container gardening program for children at home. But now we're coming out of COVID, thankfully, and we will be able to start up our cooking classes again in person, probably by the fall. And we are also looking forward to FCS and 4-H partnering together to do a culinary camp this summer. So if you haven't heard about that, that is a wonderful program, especially for a child between I think it's between 12 and 18 are the ages, Mac, if I'm not correct, where if they were ever interested in a culinary career, this would be a great camp for them because it's going to be only 6 students and it's sort of a culinary intensive for a week, or just send your kid and they'll just cook dinner for you after. So I'll go ahead and wrap up now so that I can hand it back to my colleagues, and thank you very much. And for those of you that have signed up for the cooking class tomorrow night, I'll see you and we will be cooking together. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sherilyn. Thanks for that little plug there for tomorrow. I'm just going to hand it over to Peggy Kernodle for just 1 second in case she'd like to share anything additional before we move on to 4-H. Peggy, you're on mute too. You have to unmute.
Thanks. Thanks, Krista. I appreciate that. I think basically Sherilyn covered the whole beachfront there. And what I always the only thing I would add is particularly important during these COVID times. And then we try to help out with SNAP applications when there's an interest there. And we have people at NC State who will help fill out the applications so people don't have to go downtown during this environment particularly. And then we try to help follow up with some money management techniques for food dollars. But otherwise, I think most everything else, the food safety and nutrition, were all covered by Sherilyn. Thanks for asking.
I saw you there ready to talk, Peggy. I had to call on you. Thank you, Peggy. And Sherilyn did such a beautiful job teeing up 4-H. I don't know what else I can say, so I'm just going to hand it over to Mac Holbert to tell us more about it.
Thank you, Krista. I'm Mac Holbert. I'm the 4-H agent for Durham County. And so I just wanted to briefly kind of give you a little background on 4-H. A lot of people are not familiar with it. 4-H is almost 120 years old, and it serves 6 million youth across the country. And as a result, it's actually the largest youth organization in America, which most people don't know. For example, Boy Scouts serves 2.2 million youth. So 4-H serves nearly 3 times as many. And 4-H was originally started as the corn clubs for boys and the tomato clubs for girls. These were agricultural programs that were pioneered by universities. And what they did is they went to these children, or we went to these farmers originally, and they were trying to use the college research they had done and apply it to agriculture there. But many of the farmers, supposedly, according to the story, were not interested in taking the research. They said, you know, we've been farming for 10 generations and you can't tell me what to do. So instead they started doing these projects with young boys and girls, and when they started having higher yields in their crops, suddenly their families were a little bit more interested in learning more about agricultural research. So we are the youth development wing of Cooperative Extension. There's a 4-H program in every county in the United States. And so many people ask, what do we do at 4-H? And that's a good question. And on this next slide coming up, I like to just break it down into, we do community clubs, we have clubs, camps, and curriculum. So our community clubs are gatherings of neighborhood clubs with various kinds of interests. That can be anything from horseback riding to shooting sports. Some of our clubs focus on, we have a cooking club, we have a community service club, and we have another club which does a variety of activities, STEM projects, as well as various kind of fine art presentations. There is a good variety there. And those clubs are led by our parent volunteers. And then we also offer a variety of affordable summer camps, day camps here at Durham County. And I'll have more information about those summer camps in a second, but the last part of the trifecta is curriculum. So we have a variety of texts and lesson plans and educational kits that are free for the public to use. One of the things I'm going to be working on this summer is creating a catalog with a description of everything that we have in our library and in our storage room, so that local people can figure out what we have available for them, and then hopefully check some of those things out. So that covers clubs, camps, and curriculum. If we move on to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about what we have done in response to COVID. So obviously youth programming becomes much more complicated when you cannot meet people in person. That makes things much more difficult. Sherilyn already talked about our Victory Garden program. That was an initiative that I did in collaboration with Sherilyn and Ashley Troth. And we put together kits for families to grow tomatoes, basil, and peppers at home. And then later actually did another fall kit as well. And that was a very popular program. We got a lot of families that we have not previously accessed before. We managed to give away 200 kits, over 500 plants. And the vast majority of those were given away for free for families who requested financial aid. So we've had to kind of reimagine what 4-H programming looks like during COVID. And one of the things that I am very thankful and proud of is the efforts of our volunteer leaders, many of whom are parents, who have found ways to create virtual programming. So we've had virtual clubs that have allowed all of our various neighborhood clubs to meet virtually and interact with each other in a way they wouldn't necessarily have had the opportunity to do on a regular basis before. Last Friday, we had our awards night, where we provided 14 families with fajita and taco kits. And then they joined us online on Zoom for some activities led by our teen council youth. And then we recognized various youth who have consistently participated in 4-H activities, and also wanted to single out some of the volunteer leaders who have done really great work over the past year, providing additional instruction through our virtual clubs. So we are looking forward to transitioning back to going in person soon. But over the summer, we have a hybridization of remote kits that youth can do activities at home. We're doing Cloverbud kits that have 5 to 6 days of STEM activities that can be done in the safety of their home. And then we also have various virtual club camps as well, which they can engage in, from entrepreneurship camps to coding camps to babysitting, CPR, and first aid certification camps. And then, as Sherilyn mentioned, we have a few other in-person camps that we are doing. Those are limited to just 6 people per camp, just to make sure that we are maximizing the opportunity for safety. And so those are our cooking camps, our sewing camp, and there's an outdoor education camp. And what I'm going to be doing is posting a link to our summer camps for registration. And I think that concludes everything I have to share about 4-H.
Thanks, Mac. So we've been on the road of youth development, and we're going to continue on that road with Carolyn Kruger and our Kids Voting Durham program.
Hi. Kids Voting Durham is a nonprofit, nonpartisan, Durham-centered, youth-led effort to help Durham's young people understand and believe in the power they have as engaged citizens and informed voters. And on the next slide, I'll tell you, we offer family engagement. We help families engage together in citizenship and participate in democracy, because we know that parents have a huge influence on their children growing up as engaged voters. But we also know that young people, when excited about and informed and participating in elections, can engage their parents in positive ways. We do youth voice. We connect Durham's decision makers and youth to help better our community, to help decision makers have voices that they don't typically hear. And also we give youth a big platform in that they develop most of our materials and programs to ensure that they are relevant to youth's everyday lives and approachable to them. We provide classroom supports to every educator in Durham, free of charge, in ways that not only build civic knowledge in youth, but also build their hard civic skills like voting and contacting their elected officials, and also their sense of agency and identity, so that they are more likely to go out and be engaged citizens and know that they can make a difference. And then our big banner event every year is we provide youth with an authentic voting experience. In every K through 12 classroom, at precincts throughout Durham, and online, youth can vote on the same candidates and issues as adults. And we know that this is important. Recent research from Tufts University has shown that when youth participate in elections early in elementary school, they're 40% more likely to vote as adults. And we know we can use some good informed voters in our country and in our communities right now. In 2020, on the next slide, I'll tell you a little bit about what we did. First of all, our biggest impact was with program participants that are no longer part of our program. out in Durham, in the country, there were thousands of youth voters who have gone through the kids voting program and were out there casting informed votes. And we also had great success with the students that we are participating with and the young people we are having as part of participants. 95% of Durham public schools took part in Kids Voting Durham in 2020. We were able to quickly change our lessons and our experience to be online in a way that really we could reach a vast majority of Durham's youth through our schools and through a wonderful partnership that we have with our schools. As I said before, young people play a very important role in developing our materials and programs. We also were able to expand our internship program during COVID, and we had 30 youth leadership interns who innovated entirely new ways of developing our program materials, including a new Instagram version of our always popular youth election guide that we publish with every election. And finally, COVID did not slow down our volunteer participation, which is really at the core of our program. Volunteers contributed over 3,800 hours to Kids Voting Durham, which is really what made it possible for us to have the reach and impact that we have in Durham. So on the next slide, I'll tell you how you can get involved. And there are a lot of ways that you can get involved with Kids Voting Durham. You can learn. Check out the resources we have for civic engagement on our website, kidsvotingdurham.org. Including our highly acclaimed youth election guide, which, while designed by youth for youth, is actually used by as many adults in Durham because it's really the best candidate information out there. In August, if you go, you can check out what they've produced for our city council elections in the fall. We'd love for you to come volunteer with us to help others be civically engaged. Youth can volunteer year-round and earn service hours, but many of our election time volunteer opportunities are actually family-friendly. We've had people volunteer with babies on their hips. So it's one of those few family-friendly volunteer opportunities you can participate in. You can donate. Resources from individuals help us build on the foundational support that Durham County has provided for us to make sure that we're reaching all young people in Durham. And of course, you can vote. If you're an adult, I hope you take your young person to vote with you. And if you're a youth, come vote online at a precinct or in one of the other ways with Kids Voting Durham. I'm putting my contact information and the Kids Voting website in the chat, and I hope you'll contact me if you have any questions about being involved with Kids Voting Durham.
Thank you, Carolyn. And we are moving from some kids to even smaller kids with our Welcome Baby program now. Take it away, Patience.
All right. I have to be brief. Just listening to everybody talking about everything that the extension is doing is incredible. So this is just a list of everybody who works at Welcome Baby. I'm not going to go through the names, but just so you know that this is the dream team. Erin, if you could go to the next. So Welcome Baby, talking about the resources that we have. We offer parenting workshops. And these workshops starting from, expecting moms, pregnant, up to children ages 5 years old. And this is a list of some of the classes that we have. And with the age groups, Mother Read Baby, Healthy Babies, Mother Read and Father Read, which is literacy-based program. So that's a wonderful one where we also partner with Book Harvest and getting books for the kids. Erin, if you go to the next one, I'm being, okay, continue with the services. So we also have a Giving Closet, car seat safety, and a Cribs for Kids, which is a safe sleep program to prevent sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. All our services are free. The only one that you have, go back, Erin, the only one that you have to have a copay of is basically the car seat and the Cribs for Kids, and you get a brand new car seat or brand new crib. All right, next one. All right, so just to kind of talk about the COVID response, we had to take everything, like Donna said before, online, and we also went to a drive-through distribution of our diapers and clothes. And based on that, the 2020, we managed to distribute over 250,000 diapers and over, about 198,000 baby wipes. feminine products, almost 100,000, and personal care products, about almost a little over 3,500. This is in partnership with Diaper Bank of North Carolina. And looking at this, we were able to diaper almost 21,000 kids in the year 2020. Next one, Erin. And with the Giving Closet, since we went to a drive-through format, we were able to serve about 4,500 families. And with the car seats, we were able to serve 126 families, distributed 139 car seats. And then for the cribs, 81 families with 109 cribs that we distributed. And I think we can go, the next, is this the last one, Erin, or go to the last one? Oh, the last on slide.
That's the last one you have for the presentation.
Oh, okay,
here.
all right. So contact information we'll share in the chat.
Great, thanks, Patience. That was very, very, very quick. Thank you very much. So Erin, if you want to stop sharing, I'm going to try to give our interpreter a little bit of a break. We'll see how that goes. And for my presentation, I thought it would be nice to hear not from me, because you've all heard from me quite a lot over the last few moments, but to hear from our parents who have been part of the program that I'm so fortunate to work with, which is called Parent and Family Advocacy. We do a lot of different programs, but here are some voices from some of our parents talking about what we do. And so I hope that you'll enjoy listening to this.
The Durham County Cooperative Extension Parent and Family Advocacy Program helps parents and caregivers better navigate the public school system. Listen as 3 of our amazing parent leaders share more about their experience with our Parent and Family Advocacy and Support Training, or PFAST, and with our Latino PFAST.
I really love the content. So the content was phenomenal. I really loved it helped keep me accountable. So there were times in the training where you set goals for yourself, you set action plans and things like that. So it wasn't just something that you go and you just learn how to do something, but you actually learn how to apply it to your daily life. Which I found really insightful and helpful.
A mí me gustó la calidad de los temas, o sea, todos los temas me interesaban, la claridad con que hubo la exposición de los temas, yo entendía todo fácil. También cuando preguntábamos, nos respondías también con claridad, eso me daba mucho gusto. O sea, recibía lo que yo quería, obtenía lo que quería. Y otra cosa que también me gustó bastante es el ambiente que crearon. Yo he participado en otros grupos y la gente no se ha abierto tanto, no se ha sentido esa sinceridad, esa compatibilidad, como que todos queríamos el mismo objetivo y tú creaste ese ambiente.
I applied almost just a little piece of every section, at least to my daily life. From my experience from the PFAS program, I was able to kind of learn more about, your child and the community that's around, so that it's just not me by myself, but, there's parents and grandparents and uncles and teachers, just being able to understand that. Understand when to ask for help.
Aprendí nuevas cosas que yo no sabía y ahora me siento más como preparada para poder apoyar a mis niños y aprendiendo mucho más allá, no solo de la primaria, sino la high school, la universidad. Son cosas que uno debe de aprender antes de que empiecen los niños a esa escuela.
Testing standards, like I said, she was going into kindergarten and I didn't really know about testing or how the schools work or what the grades meant for each level. And I was able to kind of learn a lot more about that so that I can understand more about what's going on in the classroom and not guess or assume because again, I want to make sure that my child is on track with what she's supposed to be doing. So that was really helpful. I mean, IEP programs and in that section, my child has an IEP. So that was really insightful to kind of understand like what questions that I can ask and really how this is going to help, how is this going to fall into, you know, like reporting and things like that. Like, I mean, gosh, I can go on and on and on. I really can.
Invitar a la gente que tomen esa clase que de verdad ayuda mucho, aprendes mucho, te sientes con armas para apoyar a tus hijos y sabes dónde acudir, a quién pedir y sabes cómo funciona el sistema educativo, sobre todo eso, porque tenemos tantas cosas que aprender sobre el sistema educativo, qué funciona, qué no funciona.
I mean, PFAS kind of helped start that journey that's just been shooting up for me.
So that's all I wanted to say is join PFAST. I'll put the contact information in the chat, and it's the best program ever. We have so much fun. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Erin, our volunteer coordinator.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Erin Matoko. I'm the volunteer coordinator, as Krista mentioned, and I'm just going to briefly discuss all of our 2020 accomplishments for our volunteer program. So as you guys know, 2020 was, like Ashley said, one year that to remember, a whirlwind for many of us. But I just love how our volunteers were very much so flexible. They were adapting to everything that we kind of threw at them, from the master gardeners to still doing so much work, regardless of the pandemic. To previously, you see here with some of our pictures, we have our front desk volunteers that were going strong during the like right before the pandemic started. We had our welcome baby assistants, giving closet helpers who were mostly NCCU students who were committed to helping out our program. And then you see we have our Briggs Avenue students who came in, our gardening students who actually were able to go ahead, work in Briggs Avenue Garden and learn how to garden, but also help to harvest fresh produce for so many food banks around the area. That was phenomenal. So I know with NCCU, a lot of their volunteer opportunities were just kind of halted. So we gave them that opportunity to go ahead and collaborate with our Briggs Avenue Garden. We have our surveyors who were calling car seat clients from their houses, from home, using their cell phones, which was phenomenal. We had our face mask volunteers who had so much just to give to the community. Just such a collaborative effort between not only the Durham community, but our Extension Community Association volunteers. And then we also continued our work with Welcome Baby and our public relations and marketing interns from UNC. This was such a wonderful partnership. Just a few of our 2020 volunteer accomplishments. So as I mentioned, we've adapted strongly and awesomely to our this huge pandemic that affected us all. We had over 9,692 total volunteer hours throughout the whole year. We had 7,272 clients reached through our services. And then over 2,400 face masks were sewn from our volunteers. And then initially, we actually participated in another project, which is called the Service Enterprise Initiative, which is basically just a national certification program through Points of Light that was going to help us to streamline our volunteer program and to really improve it even more. So this actually is a certification process that is pending, and we're waiting right now to figure out and to hear back as what the status is. Did we make it? And I'm pretty sure that we did. So I'm appreciative of all of our staff who really kind of stepped up and helped us to come up with different volunteer roles throughout this huge pandemic. And if you're interested in volunteering, please contact me. My contact information is right here. And let me know if you have particular skill sets. We're more than happy to make new projects for volunteers. We would love to have you join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. And I'm going to hand it back to Donna to close us out.
Great, thanks, Erin. Erin highlights the power trained volunteers making a difference in extension every day. This happens in Durham County. It happens across the state. We are grateful to have such amazing partners to expand the work we do to thousands more Durham residents and bring incredible return on our investment here in Durham County. So we're really thrilled to have those volunteers be a part of our family. Just in closing, I want to thank everyone on our staff for the remarkable work that they did in the last year. I think I say thank you almost every week because there's something to be thankful for and grateful for every week. And I'm also thankful to our residents and to those in the community who partnered with us and supported the work and been a part of this effort for many years. Extension is over 100 years old across our country, and some of you may have historical ties and memories of those connections from your youth, or you may just be discovering us today. Regardless, we have some opportunities for you to hang out with us a little bit more this week. We heard a little bit about the cooking class. There's a link that's been posted in the chat which connects you with all these things. We actually have an opportunity for you to pick up some cooking supplies, and if you can't pick them up, you can still participate in the class tomorrow at 5:30. Then on Wednesday, we will have a car seat class as well, and that's going to happen at noon. So you actually will see an actual demonstration, and lest you think you have your car seat installed correctly, you may want to check that out because the majority of people don't, even though they think they do. So definitely check that out and share that with your friends. And then finally, we actually have an in-person opportunity. I'm here. I started out this day in front of our office, and I'm going to end it at our Briggs Avenue Community Garden, where on Thursday you can learn all about vegetable and flower gardening, and we will have folks on site. You do have to register for that opportunity just so we can keep our numbers in check. So please check that out as well. And of course, we would be thrilled if you wanted to actually read the report. There's things in there we didn't get to share with you today, some wonderful partnerships, in particular our community development side with our facilitation network and facilitation program, and some other wonderful opportunities to learn with us. If anyone has any final questions, we are actually at time. You're welcome to send those to us or reach out to any of our staff at any time. And we're going to share our contact information kind of as a whole. So if you can't figure out, we've shared a lot, right? You can always go to our website. And even if you can't remember the website, just do Durham and Cooperative Extension and you will get to us. We have all of our programs there and great events. And you can always call us and we'll connect you with any program or any person that you want to talk to. So thank you all for being here with us today, and we hope you have a good week.